welcome back to Durian ASEAN. You're with me, Gowri, and we're moving on to our Blast from the Grassroots segment this morning. And for those of you who don't know, today is actually the ASEAN Day, which is the 8th of August, as is being observed. And to enlighten us about that, I have on the line Dr. Leonard Vries, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Southeast Asian Studies from AUCMS Penang, which is the first center in the entire region to have a faculty for Southeast Asian Studies specifically. So hi, Dr. Leonard.
Hi, good morning, Gowri.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yes, it is an important day for the 600 million people in the region, you know. It's ASEAN Day, yes. Yeah, go ahead. And it's celebrated every year on the 8th of August. It's called ASEAN Day, and it is ingrained in our ASEAN Charter. Article 39 states that the 8th of August shall be observed as ASEAN Day. Yes, Gowri.
Yeah, so this is actually the 47th ASEAN Day this year, is it?
Correct. It's now actually, yes. We were formed in 1967, on the 8th of August in 1967, and that is, it means it was 48 years ago, right? 48 years ago, if my mathematics is correct. 48 years ago, so it is actually, yes, 48 years ago.
Yeah, so what is so important about this ASEAN Day? What happens during this day?
Yeah, it is just, if I could just elaborate what it is all about. It's the preamble to the Charter. I've written something out here. Can I sort of read it out?
Yeah, sure.
It on? Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it says the preamble to our Charter, and our Charter was actually, after a lot of discussion and work among the 10 countries, it was actually approved in 2007. And that charter really connects the whole region. It also means that since ASEAN, we were not a legal personality, and now since 2007, we are a legal personality, right? In other words, we are one. And the preamble to the Charter states, we, the peoples of the member states of the Association of Southeast Asian, ASEAN, as represented by the heads of state or government of Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, 10 countries. We decided to establish through this charter the legal and institutional framework for ASEAN. Right? It goes on to say in the preamble, ASEAN was established on the 8th of August, 1967, and now, after 48 years, in 2015, we are officially integrated as a legal personality, with a charter completed in 2007, and our slogan is one vision, one identity, and one community. That's important, you know. One vision, one identity, and one community. And basically, I'm adding on the foundations of our integration, or our integration, which begins really officially begins next year in 2015, are based really on three pillars. One is the ASEAN economic community. So we are an economic community. That's one pillar. Two is the ASEAN socio-cultural community. And three is the ASEAN political security community. That's basically, if you like, the three foundations in Gowri. If we take also the charter, that is an important document. So basically, what I'm saying is that if you really want to know ASEAN, we should focus on our three pillars, those three pillars. We should know about our ASEAN Charter, get a copy. And the fourth, and the 3, 1, 2, and the third important document is the ASEAN connectivity. Now, if you can get your hands on these documents, it is a good start for us to understand what ASEAN. And right away, if I could give you our website, go to our website. And our website is www.asean.org organization. That will give you it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically then today, as I said, I and actually the whole of the region, and especially the 10 countries, the presidents of 10 countries, our secretariat in Jakarta, may I at this stage also hope that you, every ASEAN person, if you visit Jakarta, try and visit our ASEAN secretariat. It's in Jakarta. You might want to also visit our ASEAN Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And so today, we sincerely invite you to honor and celebrate 2014 ASEAN Day, this year's ASEAN Day. And remember that every year we should do something on ASEAN Day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important for this year because next year, 2015, is the official date and official year for our ASEAN integration. It's 2015 integration. It's next year. And equally important because next year, Malaysia also, after 10 years, it's rotated. We have become the chairman. Malaysia is the chairman of the ASEAN Summit. Now, the ASEAN Summit is rotated among the 10 countries. So after 10 years now, it's Malaysia's turn again to be chairman of the ASEAN Summit.
Mm-hmm.
And our Prime Minister, about 3-4 months ago, he had a workshop for people, and he wanted the people to give him feedback. In other words, you can get in touch with the Prime Minister, you can get in touch with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the ASEAN division, and give your thoughts and ideas as to what Malaysia could do to support the development of ASEAN since we become the chairman next year. And the theme of Malaysia's chairmanship next year, as the Prime Minister has indicated, is he wants us to focus on ASEAN as a people ASEAN. In other words, unfortunately, for the past 48 years, the people of ASEAN think that ASEAN is a government organization.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no, we must now think in terms of ASEAN being a people organization. We must commit and contribute to the development of ASEAN. So that's a good start for ASEAN Day to remember that.
So how can people as individuals actually do their part and contribute to this theme of being a people ASEAN?
Okay, I just written something. Can I just go over my paper
Yes,
for
sure.
ASEAN Day? Okay. So Gowri, but before I go that, let me at this stage congratulate Durian ASEAN.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congratulate Durian ASEAN for actually remembering and recognizing this important day with this interview, you see. And if media, for example, media in the whole region must play a very dominant role in getting the ASEAN identity and getting as a start this 8th of August ASEAN Day to the people, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the media, they don't, the media even, you must go through our papers and have a look at which of the media today, our mainstream media, is focusing on ASEAN Day today. Very few. So I compliment you. I compliment Durian ASEAN, you know.
Thank you very much,
Radio
Datuk.
for doing that. And as I've indicated to your owner in Che Jamal, who's a friend of mine, and I told him when you formed Durian ASEAN in March of
that's
this year,
right.
you see, and I told him, and I called him, and I said, you see, Durian ASEAN, since it is really the first radio station and online radio station in the region. And I compliment you for that, you see. You have a very important role to play, and you are doing this now, you see, by organizing this interview on ASEAN Day. And please, Gowri, refer to all our newspapers today and have a look to see which of the mainstream media, which of the radio stations, which of our television stations are actually mentioning today's day. You see what I mean? And I thank you. I thank you on behalf, really, I thank you on behalf of our 600 people in the region.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. We try our best.
Oh, yes, very important. So, in other words, can I carry on?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So, let us celebrate. In other words, before I just read out this, you see, for young people in particular, these, Gowri, are exciting, challenging times for young people. Unlike other parts of the world, especially for the Europeans and the Americans, and the Russians and the Europeans, these are not good times for young people because they go to universities and colleges and they attend courses, but jobs are difficult to come by, and because the economic situation is not good at all. And so these are bad times for parents. And for parents, too, they are worried that their children can't get jobs, and it's a fact. But the difference is in ASEAN. I'm focusing on ASEAN because I am an ASEAN national. That is my focus. These are good times because next year our markets are increasing. For Malaysians, for example, we increase from 27 million to 600 million. That's our markets. And it is a policy, Gowri, that in terms of business, our markets, there is a free flow of goods and services and human capital, workers, people from in the whole region. That's very important, you see. So as our Minister of Trade and Industry has always indicated, as in particular over the past 2 years, all people, in particular industry, whether you are small, medium, or large industries, Gowri, what you have to do is to think of Malaysia as a stepping stone to move outside, to start your business and your work outside the region, because these are exciting times. You see what I mean? Unlike all the other countries. And this is the kind I feel so sad that very often when I read our media and our newspapers and what is happening in our country and many parts of Southeast Asia, I feel that we are not getting the correct positive message to our young people about ASEAN 2015 integration and the challenges and the expansion of our trade and our living. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that message is very important. So then, let us celebrate, Gowri, celebrate ASEAN Day. Let us read the ASEAN Charter, right, and use it to think ASEAN and to implement the 3 ASEAN roadmaps. Please, it is a day in which we raise the ASEAN flag. We don't even know our ASEAN flag. We have a beautiful anthem. Play the ASEAN anthem. Reflect on our ASEAN motto: one vision, one identity, one community. and study the ASEAN emblem, our flag. You see what I mean? This is the ASEAN identity too. So in other words, for me, for example, because I've studied the ASEAN region for the past 10 years, and by studying it, I'm suggesting, like what I did, I made a commitment in 2004, Gowri, and that was the last time Malaysia was chairman of the ASEAN Summit. And I was, and our then Prime Minister, Abdullah Badawi, made a comment that, you see, unfortunately for the ASEAN people, they still think that ASEAN is a government organization, and unless the people become involved in ASEAN, we will not be able to achieve our goals and what we've planned for 40-something odd years. When I listened to him, I decided to think and reflect, and it was there and then, Gowri, I made a decision that the future of my grandson then was what, 3 or 4 years old, you see? And I made a decision that my grandson Ethan's future lay in the 10 ASEAN countries of 600 million people. Now, this was in 2004, and I made the decision that I will study whatever, anytime I see the word ASEAN in our newspapers, I will read it. And that's what I have done. And that is what I'm telling the people today, especially the young people in our newspapers. Every time you see ASEAN, you make a commitment, I'm going to read about that. That's how I did it, you see. And I made a commitment for my grandson, and that all for him and all the people of ASEAN, especially the young people, our future lies in our 600 million people, and it doesn't lie. Now, I made this decision in 2004, Gowri. It doesn't lie in America. It doesn't lie in Europe and all these countries in the West. You understand? And unfortunately, it seems to me in those days, all our corporate sector, our business, and everything we did was focused on markets in the West. You understand?
Right.
Well, I made a decision. People who think like that, in the corporate sector who think like that, I made that decision are off base. They are wrong. We should focus on our 10 countries, in which in 2005, next year, this is 10 years ago, you know, there are no more boundaries. You follow my point?
Yeah.
I made that decision, and so it's not too late yet. Although only Gowri, it's sad that only between 6 and 7 to 10% of the people in the region know of what I'm talking to you, know about ASEAN. How many of Malaysians, for example, you might make a survey and know that today is ASEAN Day. How many know that in 2015, next year, we are going to be integrated? How many know that next year, right, it means we are considering ourselves as a single market and production based? And very simply, it means that if you want to go into business, the region has decided on 12 priority industries, which I will talk. You see, these kind of things, no people don't about it. So, in other words, let us at least today celebrate. You know?
Doctor, I want to ask you about the integration that's happening next year,
Right.
because it is going to happen officially, but as nations, how integrated you think we are so far?
Our integration, as I indicated to you, I think I made a point here. Right away, then, my message, right away, I'm going to carry on and reading, but the point that you're making of integration, the most current position that you look, that actually affects the people, Gowri, right? I might just make it right away before I forget, you see. Although we are now 48 years and we are the best planned region region in the world. In terms of our identity, one vision, one identity, as I said, between 5 to 10% know about our integration. You follow? Know about it. They know. Number two, although we are supposed to be, the main principle is a single market and production base, all right? And although we have, it is a policy to integrate in 12 industries, right? 12 industries, which I'll talk to you. Although we are integrated economically and socio-culturally, you follow those three?
Yeah.
And I've already said, although we have a master plan for connectivity, which connectivity means we connect with all our people, and we connect in terms of one, institution connectivity, right? Number two, physical connectivity, roads, airlanes, all this connectivity. And equally important, people connectivity. This is all the plans. You understand? And we are also one vision, one identity, one community. What is happening today? If you look now, so it's my appeal. I am appealing to all governments, please. I'm appealing to all governments, please, to honor these principles that you have made. Look at what is happening now. Malaysia and Singapore are making it so difficult for our people to connect with Singapore and Malaysia. We have increased the transport fees to go in. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's in the papers.
Yeah,
the same thing, Singapore is now increasing. Singapore coming into Malaysia is increasing. It's making it so difficult. Malaysia then tit for tat goes and increase it. The border between Malaysia and Thailand, when they see what is happening in Malaysia and in Singapore, they are increasing it. You understand? Increasing it. When in actual fact in 2015, it is our policy to bring us together. You follow?
Yeah.
And now they're making it so difficult. What is happening? And it goes all over. So in other words, on ASEAN Day, my message to the governments, please honor what you have agreed. You see, in principle, please think ASEAN. Think ASEAN and not only think national. So every time you want to think about your own country, also include ASEAN, because that is our principle. And it is the day in which we should honor that, because it is you that decided that. You see, Gowri, do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. You see, basically, the biggest problem is this. Our governments, on the summit, they talk about ASEAN or regional matters. When they go home, they talk about national matters. You follow? National. We cannot do that, Gowri. It's ASEAN Day. Let us make our commitment. Do you?
Yeah, that's right.
You follow what I'm saying? It is very important. There should be a free flow of goods and services. You see, we should connect. Instead of increasing the fare, it should be gone. We should cut it out. We got no visa. No visa. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That is what I am talking about. That is my commitment, and that's my message to them.
Right. Thank you very much, Doctor. We're actually running out of time, but that was a very, very great insight from you regarding the ASEAN Day.
I'm just beginning, Can't give me a little bit more time?
Oh, well.
Can I say something about it?
Yeah, sure.
I said, so for all ASEAN people, can I just go down? Just simple. For all ASEAN people, please remember that our future is bright. It's positive and exciting. You all right? Okay, I did one. And why? If we work together, we bring a better life for all ASEAN people. All right? Right? So, in other words, I'm saying ASEAN people must be given this positive message. Now, for all ASEAN people, one, think, feel, and act ASEAN. All right? Two, Learn an ASEAN language. Learn an ASEAN language, and in particular English, because the countries have agreed that English is the language of ASEAN. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Know about ASEAN culture, our food, our music, our art, our craft. Think in terms of ASEAN fashion, ASEAN language. Number 4, please, parents, teach our children about ASEAN. Teach your children about ASEAN. Number 5, our schools and colleges and universities must have an ASEAN focus. There is no ASEAN focus. Number 6, do business in the 12 priority ASEAN industries. Now, the 12, very quickly, Gowri, the 12 priority industries, so that means all young people, if you want to do business and if you want to succeed, focus on the 12 industries. Very quickly now, the 12 industries are wood-based, rubber-based, agro-based, all right, agro-based, fisheries, automotives, apparel, baju, clothes, apparel, and take electronics. Those are the main ones. Now the services, healthcare, air travel, tourism, logistics, and IT. Those are the 12 priority industries. You go into these industries. You do business because the region has indicated that there are no tariffs. Now we are working on non-tariff barriers. These are it. Go and do it. Please buy ASEAN goods and services. Number 8, do me a favor and do us a favor. Travel and holiday in ASEAN. Focus on our beautiful region. Travel, you get the better. Number 9, business. Invest in ASEAN. Invest in ASEAN. And number 10, you are an ASEAN national. Please, lah. I'm a Malaysian citizen, but an ASEAN national. Develop the ASEAN identity. I can go on for talk about what government, as I said, for all governments, lah. I'm saying this. Please, I beg of you, implement seriously what you plan for all of us. What you plan for all of us, the 3 roadmaps, connectivity and the charter. When you think and act national, please include Singapore. Please include ASEAN. When Singapore governments talk about their national economy and business, talk about ASEAN as well. Malaysian governments and all. In other words, please think and act now. You have made the principle free flow of goods, services, and people in ASEAN. But just the opposite seems to be taking place. You are making it more difficult and expensive to connect with the ASEAN people. That's my point, which I indicated. Making it difficult with the ASEAN family. On ASEAN Day, please reflect on this and make the necessary changes, I think. And I'm going to end up by saying a happy ASEAN Day to you, Gowri.
Yes, Doctor.
To Inche Jamal, to ASEAN Radio, and to all your listeners, and to all ASEAN people, happy ASEAN Day.
Yeah, happy ASEAN Day to you too. And thank you so much for joining us for the interview this morning.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me.